that's how you can gain trust in the extremes and playing and understanding them. Right, you had a nice rejection, you came back under, rejected the SIGs, and then you kind of had lower highs and lower lows right now. As of right now, I mean, there's really no trend shift, right? They tried to shift it here, but they failed. This was really a failed auction at 4109 today. So there's a high chance they might retest it, but if they reclaim this level this time, especially this POC that was kind of the sell-off POC, if they reclaim that level right here, obviously there's a strong chance that they can potentially push it all the way to the top of this shelf here, which would be 4130 or so. So in the terms of price action for tomorrow, what you're watching, does anyone have an idea how you would play it? Like, for instance, just directly tomorrow? How would you play this tomorrow?
I would personally like to see it go to one extreme, and then see if we could try to get like an 80% roll, or yeah, probably like an 80% roll. That's kind of like an idea I'd like to see. Or
Yep.
like if we go to 3 sigma, then and reject. Well, actually, three's kind of far away. I'll just say if we go to like 2 sigma and reject, I'd like to play a direction the other way.
Yep, you could definitely short it here, right? As long as we're holding this PD value area low so far, that means we're accepting the value. Usually when you're accepting the value the day prior, there's a high chance that we're going to go test the extreme, right? And if you look at the extreme is set at 4110, that's pretty much what we rejected today during the regular trading hours. So, and you know, on smaller time frames, we saw that there was a failed auction. So if they hold this, or if they drop it, reclaim it, that's your sign potentially to go bullish. I would be kind of cautious around this level here, which is your POC, and we'll see where the 2 sigma is right now. I think it's a little bit lower now that we've updated some levels. So let's see. Is anyone gaining any trust looking how well these are playing out?
I am, because it seems to be like literally to the exact level.
I mean, they're hitting really, really well, guys. It seems like they're right on point. So this is your chance, if you're new, to kind of see it, how it's playing out, so that way next time it happens, right? And a lot of people are. What do you guys think? A lot of people that didn't short the top, what do you think they're doing here?
Entering short.
Yeah, they're entering the short, right? And sometimes when you enter late short, usually you're going to get a short cover rally because they're going to kill those late guys that come in. They're going to pump it up, kill them. Then when it comes here, they're going to be afraid to short a CPOC, but that's actually where you short. So it's just a mind game, you know, and how the retail loses nonstop, I would say, to the hedge funds and the big boys. And then it's really not much to it than that. And even today, you guys saw, you know, I played long a couple of times, and every time we went long, it worked. It's first, you got to trust the levels, what you're seeing, right? If you're playing a level like from here, if you're playing a level on the bounces, right? From the bottom, when we said, you know, 4080 is a good buy. And I mean, it went all the way, you know, that's like what, almost 30 points. 30 points on ES, you know, some people aim for 5, 6, 30 points is a lot on ES contract, guys. So you don't need to hit every single move, nor are you ever going to catch, you know, a move from 41.99 all the way down. You're probably not going to. You're going to get stopped out. So your goal is to take profits and continue looking for setups that fit the criteria, right? So the POC didn't really shift. I don't know if you guys have it shifted, but not for me. And what are you guys noticing about this fall right here in terms of POCs?
The volume is like towards the bottom.
Well, in this one, in lowercase b, that's good. Where's the volume in this one?
That one's actually in the top.
Yeah. So this one is a little bit tricky because you had the B shape prior. So sometimes you have to think like, well, you sold off from a P shape here. Usually from P shape, we get short cover rallies, or we actually, it's usually shown in a trend. When it's like this, when it's a short P next to a long B, that can be a reaccumulation of the cells. So they dipped it and they brought it back above the POC right here at a desirable level. They accumulated and then they sold off again, right? And the volume was, I would say, pretty good, right? If you look at the sell-off here, this was a pretty good volume. But this candle here, if you guys look, the 10-15 here on 65 minutes, to me, this looks a little bit more like absorption and stopping volume. You guys see it?
Mhm.
So for me, as if we are able to reclaim this 4100, me personally, I'll be pretty excited. You could probably aim to see the 414. Once you reclaim the 414, I think it's a safe bet that they're going to go to 4153. And a lot of people are piling up shorts right now. If you guys look at the ratios put to calls, I mean, it's screaming everybody's inputs right now.
If you grab the fixed range volume profile of the last 2 days and
Yeah, we'll do
consolidate it, the value area high is basically at your first sigma.
All right, here we go. So this is a fairly important level. Let's see what Mr. TJ is talking about. Yeah, this will be a weird balance.
I got mine extended right.
Yeah, it's right here. Like 4112-ish.
And then your low is down there.
Yeah, it's right here.
Around like 4074.
Yeah, that's the level I was watching for bounce. So yeah, this is an important level. I would say if you look at this candles right here, let's go in 15 minutes. This is not like the best 2 candles to play off. You guys see that we pushed up. And actually I think I was live here trading when we had this bracketed market, right? They swept the lows and then they ripped higher. And if you guys recall, yeah, this is when me and a few others, I believe Burnside, we went long. He went on NQ, I was long on ES, but it played out nicely. I kind of got out on this candle here somewhere. The idea was, right, they swept the liquidity, they came back here, they swept it and then they pushed higher, swept this liquidity. At this time, I'm just giving you the idea why I traded it. Let's see, don't extend. Why is it? Oh, it's extending. I'm like, man, why is it doing that? So this was the idea for me, right? We rejected here, we held here, we swept this, and then we got inside. So I was like, hey, most likely we're going to go to the opposite side. And that was, almost, for me, I almost got, I believe, 10 or 11 points on that, maybe a little bit more. So just a simple trade, catch 10 points and get out. Okay. I do not like something on the volume profile here. Any idea what that is? I mentioned it when I was trading live that they're gonna try to do that. If you're live, I mentioned once we got out, they're most likely gonna try to push inside the value. So you see how late the push was, right at 4 o'clock. They tried to squeeze in and close inside the balance of the day. And they did do that, right? They closed inside the balance, but I think there's a higher probability it's gonna break this. then potentially go higher. I know Meta had earnings. I'm not sure if any other big boys had like blowout earnings. Well, not necessarily blowout, but a response to earnings was fairly positive. So for me, honestly, I would not touch this long till you clear this 4100. If you do, you have about 10 to 12 points that you can target. I would say this channel that you have here, it needs to be broken, and this would be your change of character here. And hopefully you guys can see it. So if you're able to break this, you're going to be changing the character right here. So this is a key level for me. I really would want to see this, that we break this, and tell me that, what would that tell us again? If we break this and hold above it, what does that tell you?
The price was not accepted outside third sigma, came back in.
February
From first
value
sigma
area
to
was good.
go to mean.
Okay, anyone else?
February value area was accepted.
That's
Can you ask the
break of
question again,
structure?
Shorty?
if we're able to break the change of character here, what does that tell you in terms of buyers and sellers?
Trying to find new value higher.
Think buyers and sellers.
Buyers take control.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
buyers.
buyers are taking control. All the selling has been absorbed. That means we're gonna relax for selling, and then, so think about it. If I'm selling peanut butter here, and then something happens and I have to sell peanut butter a lot lower, right? And then the price of the peanut butter is going up. What does that tell you for demand of the peanut butter?
Demand rises.
Especially if you go over a pivotal level, right? Where you were not able to get over the level before. The peanut butter here was, let's say, $410, right? Or let's say $4, just to make it more realistic. If it was $4 peanut butter, and last time you came here, the auction failed. Just like it failed when I was offering the $20 bill. When the auction went to $20, none of you guys bid more, right? Then, you know, the auction can go backwards and then it starts, hey, I'll offer you 19. And then somebody might go, you know, whatever the value is. It's not as realistic on a dollar just because there's a perceived value of a dollar. When something like this happens, you failed here before. You're not able to auction any higher. The market did not accept any bids higher. Well, if there was no bids higher and this time you break it, well, most likely what would happen is that this is going to become support. It's a classical setup. And they could even do this where they, you know, come back again and do something like this. But this is what you're looking for, right? And if you're, you know, if you're not long, and that's why I said, right, some people manage the risk differently, me versus you. If you got into the, you know, next weeks, that's okay. Like I didn't even check the account yet on that one. I'm still in it. I didn't even look. If this plays out the way I think it's gonna play out, we come here, we pop those, you know, come close to the money or a little bit above the money, and I'm okay. But let's say if this breaks 40.46, then I don't have no reason to believe by next week, Friday, we're going to be at 41.50, right? So as of right now, I'm still in those and I'm just waiting. But if you're not in, where's your signal to go long?
After change of character, retest of first sigma.
Yeah, it's going to be here somewhere. It might not be perfectly on the line, but I would expect it. Whatever that sigma is, sigma would probably shift down a little bit. It's going to be there.
And there is news tomorrow, PPI, GDP, stuff.
Oh, there's a lot tomorrow. Tomorrow is back. Tomorrow is going to be a heavy manipulation day. So, and what a better day to manipulate all the shorts right before. You know, we have the FMOC meeting. I believe is it next week or the week after?
Next week, FOMC, and then
Yeah.
CPI after.
So, if they are able to recover this, build it higher, and then dump from FMOC, that could be a pretty cool script, right? But considering there's some stuff going on with the banks again, I mean, they could say 0 interest, right? Manipulate the numbers tomorrow. So I think it's a connection between tomorrow and FMOC. We'll know how FMOC reaction will go, I would say, based on tomorrow, and we can talk about it after we see what they do. We'll put a plan for it. You guys hopefully know why this level here was fairly important. Like right here, the one. Does anyone recall this level? Hopefully you guys do. I think we covered 4082 many times, the Fed value area low. Those are important levels. If we're gonna get a strong low bounce, this is the level that we get the strong low bounce. I think this is a key level for a bounce here. And then you have another one.
Here as well.
Yeah, there's a VPOC there. And there's a VPOC right here. I think it was 443, but yeah, I think it's a little higher.
40, 42, 75.
Yeah, close enough. I was thinking it's 43-ish. So right there, and then you have the 99 VPOC here as well. So if we break this 44 by some chance, your bias is, guys, straight short to 4,000. If it's late in the day, don't play 0 DTs. You can play SPY, maybe play a few days out, 2 days out, and then you're looking at 40 points on ES drop. So this is going to be quick here. If they do drop it here, let's say tonight, tomorrow, I would expect a strong bounce here. This is the idea. If you want to change the character, I'm on 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure if you go in 5 minutes or 10 minutes for your intraday stuff, you look here, they tried to break it. They had a nice close, but this demand was not respected. Where would you draw your demand based on candles on this uptrend here? Wouldn't it be this one here?
4084. Yeah. 40. Yep.
Yep. So you will have this nice demand, and you see them trapping here. Hey, we're gonna go below them, and now we reclaimed it. So as long as they hold this overnight, I think there's a strong chance that we might see a green day tomorrow. So, and you see that's also what they're able to hold this level. It's also a PD value area low. So there's you have some confluence points at that level here for them to hold, but let's see how they react. So that'd be my plan for tomorrow. I'll watch. The only way I will short it is below, if they go below February value area low, or this one here, depending for your appetite, PD value area low, you can short that. Most likely we would go to the bottom here at 40.62. Okay. So if you short this, that's about 20 points. It should be, sorry, not 20 points. It's 60, yeah, 20 points. And just be cautious of this liquidity. So you have 6 points, 16 points, or 20 points here. That's what I would be looking for. Any questions on ES? Okay, you guys can congratulate KSN for the clouds. He will be the lucky one to get them. I will send over the NDA for you, KSN, and we will go fill it out, and you'll get the toss package of the clouds.
Yay!
Congrats,
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
What's that, Shorty? The cloud side for new guys?
No, it's not for. So it was. I said whoever had an opportunity to comment on Twitter that I'm gonna reward somebody, give them a toss clouds that I have, and
Oh yeah.
we're rewarding Kiss, and he's got it.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Sorry, what happened? You missed it.
I'm sorry.
What happened? You missed the comment. I forgot to do it.
There'll be plenty of other chances. Okay. NQ guys, I don't know if anyone traded NQ using the Sigmas, but man, it's been pretty good. This morning, did anyone catch the bounce for 50 points?
4080.
Well, we had a bounce here, right? So we caught a bounce this morning right around here somewhere. Let me go on 3 minutes. I'll recognize the candles a little bit better. Yeah, right here. It wasn't there. It was here. Yeah, it was this one right here. I think we got in somewhere around here. Well, I'm sorry. I almost got 42 points. I don't see the candle. It was the 14 and the stop loss was 98. Okay, I think it was, no, it was the retest. It was somewhere over here that I got in. I'll have to check. The stop loss was 98, was a little bit lower, and we never hit it. And I got out actually right here, and then of course they proceeded to go for another 50 points or so. But I played NQ, and NQ has been playing out levels, guys, almost too perfect on the sigmas. If you have the, if you're using them, they've been hitting really nice. So if you don't have the sigmas on NQ, I strongly suggest that you at least update them so you have it. And even if you're not trading NQ, if NQ is coming to a support level, let's say like a 2-3 sigma, and ES has a little bit more to fall, in that scenario, I would wait. Like, hey, let's see if NQ can dip through the sigmas and ES comes to that key support, and then you look for a long opportunity on ES or an NQ. That, at least that's how I play it, and kind of together between the two. And I think honestly, it does pretty great so far for me, and it's been doing great for a while. I used to use Qs a lot, right? But then there's the weight of some of those index stocks and the Qs makes it really sometimes irrelevant of how it behaves. And you guys see them trying to prop the market with Microsoft, and now it looks like Meta's the next one. Next week we have, I believe, a May 2nd or 3rd, no, 4th is Apple. If Apple does a move similar to Microsoft of 10%, the market can take a little bit, take off a little bit. So just keep an eye on that for next week. I mean, it's fairly big earnings for Apple.
Apple usually stays up after earnings, even if they do something bad, but I don't know why they always go up.
I think it's their, the guidance is going to be probably the most important. Last time, Tim gave, I would say, a little bit of shady guidance, but I think that just like it was before, the AI is picking up steam on pretty much every earnings call right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Apple announces some kind of AI on the earnings call. So how would you guys play NQ here? Anyone?
We lost second sigma and now we reclaimed it. So first play is at the tap of second sigma, go long, take profit at first sigma. And then between first and sigma and CPOC, there is not a lot of meat. So probably once you go above CPOC, then you take a longer treat.
So I'm on 65 minutes. Do you see much character of change anywhere here?
Not really.
No.
No.
So if you do go along on 2 sigma, you have a little bit of a stop to manage, right?
Okay.
And I would be not looking for a huge bounce off of this level at first. If we did have a body close here above this one and we changed the character and we went lower, then I'll be like, okay, well, that makes sense because I see what they did, right? If you look at this candle here, where did they bounce? They created an imbalance. They came back and look where they did it. I know it sounds like, oh yeah, but meta, all of this is, I would say, a little bit of a script, right? They popped here, they come back to a nice demand, and look at that from 12,870. I mean, you're catching 100 points, right? So if they're able to make a higher high, and you see a setup, whether you're using consolidation or whatnot, but there is a little bit of a missing piece right here, right? So if you guys see here, you know, we had a nice little gap and they filled it. They also filled that. So don't be shocked if they come back here and they hold it and they bounce from here. So it could be a little bit earlier than what you might expect. And the 50%'s kind of right in a way as well. So I'll definitely watch this to see if they hold this, but it looks like they're, again, what looks are they giving you guys now? Okay, let's cover this real quick so you guys understand. We had a nice trend day, right? We go down, they give nice wicks, tops, bottoms. It looks like we're gonna go higher. It looks like absorption, right? So if you're trading on the flow of the candlesticks, I guarantee you, if you look at the flow of the or the footprint charts, sorry, I meant to grab a triangle, go a square. Here you would see actually a bullish setup for the most part. And what did they do there? Hey, it's not a bounce, we flush it. Then again, look at this. Remember this, what I keep telling you guys. You guys remember when we talk about the guy that gambles money with a little dice? Yeah. Well, here's, you know, they gave you a false reversal, right? So you had a nice pop here, then they gave you a false reversal, and here's the candle they used for manipulation. That you see how they held up demand well. They dumped it from there, right? And then they had another one. They're like, okay, well, hey, we missed it over there. How about we bounce it from here? Then they gave another false, and then they broke lower. But look what they did to these poor guys right here on the bottom. If you shorted this bear flag here, what do you think this candle did to you here?
Destroyed you.
Yeah. That was a
Got you
candle.
excited.
Oh, this candle, you're screaming, oh my God, we're going lower, bear flag playing out. And then what happens? They gave you that, you didn't get out, and poof.
That's why the last 15 minutes is almost like gambling.
Well, it is gambling, but sometimes when you use logic a little
You
bit,
get lucky.
well, you get lucky if you understand a little bit of a story, what's happening, and knowing where we were, right? At that time, you know, I was actually, you know, well, Burnside was long on this, I was long on ES, but seeing what they're doing kind of can help you understand it, right? Most people are loading those 0DT puts, and of course, you're loading the puts, they give you a bear flag, you don't get out because what happens? Greed kicks in.
Yeah.
Right now, they're entering the greed. It's like, man, I don't want 100%. I want 1,000% because the guy Jimmy on Twitter posted 5,000%. So then your emotions get in the way, and guess what? You don't take the profits here, and then you blame the person that told you to get alerted the puts, and you're like, man, you suck, man. You told me to go short here, and I was up 100%, but I couldn't get out. Well, it's not that you couldn't get out. It's mainly because they're giving you the greed. And, you know, they had fear mixed with the greed, right? They're like, oh my God, fear, fear, fear. People start selling, panic. They start buying puts because it's greed. They want more money. And then, of course, they reverse it. So this sounds crazy, but I think tomorrow there's higher odds that we get a bounce. At least I'm thinking we're going to get a bounce tomorrow.
I like what you said today. Is think, control your emotions. Think the opposite.
Well, I mean, that's the game, because a lot of people, as we were breaking, you know, you don't short support levels. You short on a retest of the support, right? You don't want to short, and that's where most people, that's how retail loses money, honestly. So if you look here, for instance, on AMD, I would say on 30 minutes, this was a pretty good support, right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
So if this is a nice break here with a candle, we haven't had a retest. Why wouldn't they, excuse my language, fuck all the puts here, push it up here? They would close the puts and then dump it. Means reload for the puts for them or big boys. Retail gets out. The retail loses again here. They lost here. They don't catch here, and then they short again here.
That would be a perfect textbook short. It breaks, comes back for a retest, and dumps.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what's going on from. I didn't even look at AMD chart, but I was fairly bearish, I believe, for AMD. How long now? Since we've been here pretty much at the 100 level. I've been bearish on it, right? And now they're giving another bear flag look here. They lost support. So what's the best way here? Watch tomorrow here. Maybe just remember this conversation. They will break this bear flag. They will break this, right? But watch some news, random news come out. Or something happens where it goes whoop. And all of those puts get toast. And they rip here. And this is where you actually go. You know, this is what you're looking for short. You guys see it anywhere else? How about, I would say somewhere around here. You break it, you came back, boom, you do it again. Support. Now this is a better setup than this one. So I honestly think this level here will be pretty good for a short. Okay. So what do you think happens here tomorrow? What could happen here tomorrow? What do you guys think can happen this week? What would be the best play for market makers, not for yourself?
Best
Bring it
one,
up to that high value node and then drop it.
This one here?
400 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's enough meat for them?
412 then.
Yeah, because they make their money little by little.
Or better.
They've got to keep unloading their inventory.
Exactly. So they're gonna try now, if they're smart, right? They're gonna see if there's people buy the fucking dip people, right? So what they do is they come here. It's like, hey man, this was a pretty good support here, tiny little shelf, right? And they're gonna test them, right? They're like, oh, okay, well, man, this is. Watch some news tomorrow, whether it's the news that we're expecting, right, in the morning or something else. But this is the key level right here that you're on SPY now. You lose this level right here, I would say 403, man, you're opening up the doors for 400 and some massive volume in between here, right? And you rejected this value area high, which was 414.50 for me previously that I was watching. If you're rejecting this, there's higher odds that you're going to go towards 390. Right? There's really, really high odds that you're going to go 390. Breaking that 400 really enables that quick drop all the way to 390. So for now, the best way they can play this, if they come here, think about this. They come here, people buy puts, they toast the puts here, right? Just think. And then they hop over this, and then they have another run. How many people would try to short every run up?
A lot.
Everybody, right? Most people, most retail, you got to think both ways. Now retail is their mindset is gonna be bearish, right? Are we really bearish on SPY? Just look at this chart that I just highlighted. I'm going to remove this one. I want you to think. Okay, let me hide everything. I don't want to confuse you guys.
Not really, because you're still in the range, the upper range.
Yeah, still in consolidation.
This is consolidation. People are talking about we broke the range. I'm sorry, but what range am I missing here that we broke?
Yeah.
What range is broken? But there's something very, very important that nobody's talking about yet.
Support.
Guys, it's an SR flip.
It's the SR flip.
Guys,
Yep.
This is the SR flip here. This is the SR flip from the previous run up here. Here, this was a trap, right? This was a good trap for, you know, the longs right here. Then they lost it. They came back and boom. A lot of people are, what do you guys think? Do you not think a lot of people are using, nobody asked, but why are we not using this as a support?
Because that's what retail's using.
But this was never support and resistance before, so why would I use it now?
Exactly.
Ah, right.
This was never a support and resistance. This is just a generation of liquidity. What shorting long is talking about, this is them just creating liquidity for the market right here. This is a liquidity maker.
But would you think that this SR flip is weak because we couldn't really break the 416, 420 supply?
Well, I mean, think about this. Just be careful. Did you make a higher high?
Yes.
So this demand took this previous lower high. And now you're consolidating much closer to that lower high. I mean, you're consolidating $4, $2 away. So if they want to take out these equal highs now, right? Let's draw it here. If they want to take out the 416, much easier to take out 416 from 405 than it is to take it out from 380. So now, while everybody might be scared here, this is what I'm playing. People being scared, we are at a pretty, I would say, pretty good SR flip here. I mean, I would say 1, 2, 3. I count this one, of course, here. This one I also count just because I know that was a perfect trap. This one catches a lot of people. And now you broke it nicely, right? Somebody wrote in the Discord, I didn't catch the name. And he was like, man, I want to see a nice little round go up and come back like a parabola and make sure it's a retest, not a single candle. I don't know who said it, but look, this is a pretty good retest. And if you're a smart retailer, at least if you have any common sense as a retailer, what do you think retail's seeing here? The way I do retail is there's really dumb retailers and they're never going to get help. Then there's retailers that are 50-50 and they trade patterns and they just buy on those patterns, right? And they hope for the best.
A cup and handle?
Yeah, they see an inverse head and shoulders or a cup and handle. They see one here, right? And then there's a massive one. I would say maybe that's building somewhere around here at the same level. But if you look closer to here, let me give you guys a visual.
Well,
don't you think
so inverse head and shoulders? Yeah,
it is inverse head and shoulders. So the smarter people that see it, you know, they're like, oh yeah, this is it, and now they're seeing us stopping right where it should stop. You know, I don't know what you guys know about the rules of inverse head and shoulders, but your left shoulders and the right shoulder should not have symmetry. One needs to be low, and one needs to be, you know, higher. So this one here,
shouldn't the inverse head and shoulder be at a downtrend? It's like in the uptrend. So,
well, I mean, I would say we're in a fairly downtrend.
I was looking at from October low or something.
Well, yeah, well, you got to look at the picture, right? I'm on 8 hours, higher high, lower high, lower high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower lows, lower low. now reversing, and now again, lower high, lower high, lower high, still making higher lows, but lower highs here. So overall trend, I still say it's bearish, right? So now I think they're giving them that look for the smarter kind that they can go long. And if there's a lot of smarter kind here and they push it back up again, who do you think is going to buy here? The dumb retailers. They buy here. They come in, they're like, man, I missed the rally. Do you guys remember me saying that? Most of them are going to create FOMO here. They're going to, I mean, a guy told me in a video it's going to 400 the other day, 2 days ago. And let me check. I just want to make sure.
Did you tell him NVDS going to 400?
I mean, it dipped $20 since he told me it's going to 400. And hope he's right for himself. I have no position here, right? But then again, they gave us a retest here on Thursday. So you have to understand the mind that how they're making money using, you know, retail here. So a lot of retail, I would say, is fairly bearish right now, at least what I'm seeing. And people that are bullish, you know why they're not loud?
They don't want to be heard.
They don't want to be heard, and they don't want to be wrong. Because if you have confidence in something that it's going to bounce, then you just write out and you say it's going to bounce here. Or I could do something like Jake and just post a fucking chart and tell you, hey, look at this chart. With no context or no idea what to do with it. Hey, man, look at these charts right here. There's consolidation and there's a VWAP is right below. That doesn't give you any context or how to play it or what are the options, right? So there's a lot of, you know, don't get overwhelmed with what you read. You have to start trusting yourself on what you're seeing. And once you establish that, you know, key levels are going to play out the way they're supposed to, is there a chance they won't? Yes, there's a high chance they won't. But there's also at the same time high chance that they will. So, and your money making ability is managing when they won't. If you can manage that side, then the kind that makes money will work out on itself, right? Especially if you're holding, you know, 3-to-1 risk to reward. Okay. So let's see if they bounce here. They should bounce here, but. Okay, well, that's it for ES and NQ. I think Meta, I think it's coming up to a swing short level. They had really horrible earnings. I don't know if you guys read them. They're horrific. But that's okay. Let them
I think their
have it.
metaverse earned like half the revenue of last year and almost like 25% more loss.
Yeah. They expected EPS supposedly 20 something. Some leaked documents came out that they're expecting much higher EPS. So our level gap fill is at 248. I'll just give you a little quick clue on how this looks. If I go on 8 hours, we're at 233, so you can expect a little bit of pushback and then go there. But I want to take you back to Amazon. Where's Amazon? I'll take you way back. Where's the gap? I think it was here. Yeah, this was the Amazon gap, and same type of play happened on Amazon. So if you guys look here, let me go this way. Here's the same type of play. Now it's a little bit further. Right there. So look at this. They gapped up, and then eventually, what did they do here? They came, then they filled it, right? And then they, of course, went over it a little bit. They couldn't hold that because there was also a gap up over a gap up. And then they struggled and they created new lows ever since then. They broke the lows here and now they're kind of holding above it. And if you overlay Facebook, you can see the similarity of how it's going to play out. Here's your gap. I don't know if you guys can see this. Here's your gap. Don't think that they won't go here. I'm pretty sure they will push here. Once they lose this level right here, this is a go ahead, I think, for a lot of tech to cool off, believe it or not. So let me give you an idea. Can everybody see it, or am I just making up shit that doesn't click?
Can see.
See it now? I'm trying to make it. So see the gap, nice gap. They can push this above again. And at this point, I would expect Meta is going to do the same thing that Amazon did. And a lot of players in this, I guess, space that have similar gaps. Okay. Any other questions? Is everybody fairly clear on ES and what's happening? Do you understand it? We are not, I would say, we are not out of the, we did not break the consolidation yet, guys. And I think if you look at February value area low, do you guys understand why this can be a really nice big bounce?
Because that's the start of March. So if it does not go there, that means, oh, sorry, there are two reasons. One is the price is not accepted outside February value area. That's one. And second is price is not accepted inside March value area. So that those 2 points basically makes it.
If you're bouncing here, that means you're accepting the value area of February and accepting the movement back into it, right? Considering the March value area high here is being accepted higher. So this February area value area low might be a nice bounce. And if they dip it here, this is even, I think it's going to be more violent at 47 than anywhere else. Why? Why would 47 yield better bounce potentially than a 62? Think like a market maker. How do you get the dumb retail to hop into short?
To make
You
them
break even
Create the
numbers.
fear.
You break even
Yep.
numbers, 40, 50, 4100, 4200. And then once they break those levels, you tend to do a little bit of a quickness and opposite. If you can catch them quickly on the opposite side, that's a problem, right? So that's what you can expect. If they do break this one, retail will say, yeah, well, I see I'm sorry, I'm seeing continuation here. We're going to go short. Oh, we're going to break 50 now. They break 50, and then this level here, I think, would strike pretty well, 42 to whatever this level, 46. I think it would be a really nice level for a bounce. Okay. Any questions? Okay.
Nope.
I'll trade live with you guys tomorrow. So if you can't join online, I'll actually look to record tomorrow's trading live. So if you guys can join, I'll record it and you guys can watch it, rewatch it if you have any desire to do that.
Shorty, are you gonna trade live on Friday, like the last 30 minutes? Because it's end of month.
I will, yeah. I'll
It's
trade
gonna be
Friday
fun.
all day. Yeah, I'll trade Friday all day. I'll share screen.
I think the last 30 minutes are gonna be fireworks. You remember last month, like $30 to like $800?
Yeah.
I remember.
It's gonna happen again.
I think we can find one again, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially if they give you the squeeze and
Yeah.
end of the month has rebalancing. So, and I'll call a fresh tomorrow.
Take
see
5
what-
points out on both sides, and things gonna go up for sure.
Shorty, can you just
Yep.
quickly check my DM before you close and see if that's something you agree with, and if it is, maybe announce it right now?
Yeah, I can trade in the free chat tomorrow. For anyone that's not on our, I don't call it premium Discord. It's nothing premium about it, but in the paid Discord, if you join, I'll trade in the free section tomorrow, so people can see it. And I don't know, I've never been in many other Discords, but I guess people trade live, but they just talk their trading. Like they don't actually share charts or entries or any of it.
So for people on YouTube, I just posted the link to the free Discord if you want to come in and check it out. We'll be trading live for everybody in the free section tomorrow, which we don't do often, but you can come and get a taste of what we do.
Catch you guys tomorrow morning from 9:30.
Thanks so much, Shorty.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Markets.
No problem. Later, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.